you could pick fruit from farmers. They would come down and pick you up. You'd pick either strawberries or different fruits, and then they would pay you. Or you yourself would go pick huckleberries or blueberries. We call them huckleberries. And you could go around picking the small ones, and they were all over because there was a lot of woods in Sayreville. Journey Mill Road would be loaded. But the smart guys used to go down where the steel plant is now or across the street in the swamps. And they were what we used to call swampers. They were as big as your thumb. I mean, you could, like grapes, and it stunk with the swamp and all that stuff, and you'd be in swamp water. But man, you could pick barrels and barrels, pails and pails of blueberries in no time at all. And then, of course, you put them in quart containers, and then you would go house to house and sell them. So that was good money, very good money. Of course, in those days, money went to Mom. All money went to Mom. Mom would sit there, not only my family, everybody's family. She'd let you keep a token, but that was it. My grandfather came from Poland, and at a dance in South Amboy, because that's where he went, he migrated to, he met my grandmother, who was 16, and he was older. How much older? I don't know, 5 years older maybe. So at a dance, he cut in, and the guy she was dancing gave him a hard time, so I don't know, I guess he threatened him or whatever, but that was it. So then he got married, and they had 5 kids, let's see, 5 or 6 kids they had. And and he had the reason I mentioned him, because he was superintendent or supervisor from Crosman Sand Company, which was one of the places to work. And I was always told this. So for a guy that came over from Poland with no education, he had a great job. Matter of fact, the year he died, and he died when my father was 8 years old, the year he died, they were going to go out and buy a brand new Buick. But since he did die, no one had insurance in those days. They didn't believe in it. So now it was my grandmother left with 2 boys and, let's see, and 3 girls to fend for themselves. So that's why my father quit school in 8th grade to go to work to help support the family. And that's what she did. Well, when a barge exploded, when was that, 1950, 51 in South Amboy? Okay, I'm sure you guys know about that, but I'll tell you, my own take on that was, I'm sitting there, I'm on the front room of this house we used to live in, and reading a Superman comic book, and all of a sudden this blast came, boom, knocked off our chimney. For some reason, didn't blow out any windows, and right away we all looked at DuPont, because at the time, DuPont made nitrocellulose, I can't say it, film, which just blows up. As a matter of fact, a lot of their storage buildings they were designed where the roof would blow, and so the explosion would go up and be less harmful. So we all looked, of course my father was there, he said, well, I hope that's not DuPont. We didn't know at the time. Meanwhile, a couple of my buddies, I found out later, some were on bicycles and windows blew out and they weren't hurt. And so when we heard about it, it was quite a bit of thing. And then, of course, later on, we'd jump on our bikes and go to South Amboy, like the next day and all that. And you could see the soldiers. It was like martial law. You could see everything was, the blackings of some of the building and stuff like that. So that was quite exciting there for that thing to blow. Even I could, as a younger man, as almost 10 or 15 or even 20 years gap between men that lived before World War II, I could relate to them because not much happened until the war. And then because of the war needs, everything happened. Then you went to better, like penicillin, you went to bigger and better things. Up until that time, I lived like they lived 20 years ago. No running water, outhouses, almost like poverty, but it was a way of life. You didn't feel poor because everybody was poor. So it wasn't too bad. All of a sudden people started getting educated and more technical, again with the TVs and stuff like that. Cars, prices went down, you could afford it, the common man could afford it. Hell, I could have bought a damn my first time in California in the Marine Corps, I could have bought a brand new Corvette for $3,600 if I had $3,600. But, I think that was a big difference in World War II. It was, in fact, a big difference. A lot changed. More traffic. People you don't know, again, you would go down any gathering place like Duck's Nest, and you would look and you didn't know what this person's name was, but you knew either his brother went to Lady Victories or St. Stan's, or maybe they were from South Amboy and stuff like that.